Welcome to the Grit Daily Startup. I'm your host, Sebastian Rusk, and this is a podcast about what goes on behind the scenes at startups. The good, the bad, and the gritty. Let's dive in. Anupam, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to hang out with us here on the Grit Daily Startup Show. We love to talk about the world of startup on this show, the good, the bad, and what we like to call the gritty. So I'm curious to learn what your experience has been in the world of startup. But before we get into all that, let's back up a little bit, help our listeners better understand a little bit more about you and your backstory.
Sure. So I was born in India. I grew up there, did my education over there. And like a lot of technology folks moved to the United States in late 90s, where it was just paradigm shift in how the world was operating between Y2K, the web boom and everything. I was lucky enough to be here prior to dot-com bust. And then that was the start of an amazing journey. It opened up the world to me, and gave you a whole new perspective, right? What does entrepreneurship look like? What does the technology revolution look like? So that was the beginning of my journey into America. Started working with a lot of large pharma companies doing data analytics work. And that was the early start of my journey.
Love it.
So it's about 25 years I've been doing this now.
Only 25 years?
Yep.
Well, that's fantastic. And so how did P360 come to be?
So I grew up around like a lot of entrepreneurs. Like entrepreneurship was like, as far as I can remember, going back to my teenage years, I wanted to do something like, and when I got to America, it gave a new perspective. And one of the things which I was lucky enough to be living in New Jersey for all these years, surrounded by a lot of pharma companies, and I became domain expert working for some of these larger companies. And that thing, being a technical person, working on a domain side, that just one thing led to other, and Prescriber 360 was formed. It's derived from word prescriber, which is the like an industry name for doctors and HCPs. So, and then as the business grew, the companies started calling us P360, and we said, why don't we just market ourselves as P360? And P360 was born.
Love it. And so what do you guys do? Break it down for me.
Right. So in the simplest terms, if you have ever been to a doctor's office, you see pharmaceutical reps come in and speak with doctors, and they try to promote their drugs, talk medical, clinical stuff with the doctors about all the medicines which are available. So our platform allows pharma companies to engage with the doctors, which are HCPs, and like make it their life easy, make doctors' life easy, as simple as sending a text message or having a detailed conversation. So we have a platform for pharma companies to engage with doctors.
Great. And what are you guys excited about for 2023?
So we are in a huge this momentum shift. Like we are getting a tremendous traction from some of the largest companies, and we are very excited about what innovation can do. And when we are going to these companies and they're looking at it saying, yes, that's exactly we have always been thinking about how, why not all this, right? So it's very exciting in terms of market traction we are getting and the opportunities which are coming to surface. We are at a junction. The technology trends are evolving and changing. Like if you go back, last time this happened was in 2007-8 when AWS was in its infancy, mobile phones were coming in, and we just last 15 years, the whole world looks different, right? I think we are at that junction again. So I'm very excited about what our products and services are doing, but at the same time, also what future holds.
Absolutely. So when we talk about the world of startup, what would you say the worst part of the startup process is?
It was a lot of things, right? So, but I think worst part of startup is it's a very lonely place if you are one of the founder, because lots expected in you, and you have to come out of your comfort zone. There are a lot of decisions which you are making. You're not sure, or you don't have anything to go on, right? But you have to survive. You have to feed the company. The employees are relying on you. You can't be wavering. Like, you have to have a rock solid confidence and execute with passion. But one thing also which helps in this situation is you also have to have a lot of empathy. You need to look at things from various perspectives: empathy for people you deal with, and empathy for yourself. You're trying to do only a handful of people do, right? Not, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
So you have to keep that in mind when you are going through that initial phase.
Yeah, absolutely. So to the complete opposite of that, what would you say the grittiest part of the startup process is?
Grittiest part, yes. So hearing no is not easy for anybody, right? And no comes in various forms. You are competing against, let's say, companies with multi-billion-dollar balance sheet, and now you are a startup. You're trying to prove yourself. You go to the companies, they can say, no, that's not what we do, that's not how we have always done, and hearing that over and over again. But the ability to counter back and stand up again and say, no, I have something different. You will run into people who will eventually listen to your message and say, yes, that makes sense, and now you have to prove yourself, right? So you get an opportunity. Everybody gets an opportunity. But the initial part, when nobody knows you or your company, and how do you get out of that portion of the initial phase, is very important.
Yeah, it certainly is. And what would you say that the best part of the startup process is?
Oh, it's like taking such a huge baggage off of it. Like, the best part is, like, you wake up every morning. Now you are passionate, you are driving towards building something, and you don't have any overheads, right? Like, when I say overheads, means you make your own box, that you are not contained to what you can do and not do. And anybody everybody has ideas, right? Like, I think the difference between entrepreneurship and idea person is you have to execute those. You get to execute it, and you get fun out of it, right? You get real joy. Now you test yourself, you have ability, and if things go right, you have ability to show the world, like, okay, there is something else. So any company, we have heard all the great stories of great companies, but they all started the same way. Like, somebody had to put that idea on the paper and then execute it. So whatever you do, like, it's a start of something great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been great to learn more about what you guys have built over at P360, and of course, a chance to chat with you and learn a little bit more about you. So, wanted to encourage you guys to keep rocking and rolling. It's clearly that you guys have built a solution that matters and that is moving the ball forward and down the field in the world of healthcare and pharma and everything else you guys get a chance to work on. So, any final thoughts for our listeners?
Thank you. So I would just say, anybody who is listening to this, don't give up, hang in there. Means there is, you will survive through those difficult phases, but it's beautiful once you get on the other side. It's so much fun. See your business grow and work hard at it. Means there is no easy button, but that's all we are here for, right? Let's do it. Means don't stop yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Those are great final thoughts. Thanks again for your time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Sebastian. Have a good one. Bye.
Until next time, friends.